Imagine desperately hunting for a job to support your family and only finding a position that requires you to spend long hours away from your family. Money is tight. Where do your children go after school when you're at work? This is an issue that millions of parents have to face constantly. The lack of support from public schools to provide a quality after-school program is becoming an issue for families within our communities. Many times, schools do not offer an after-school program, and when they do, they are often low-budget programs that offer very little resources to the children and families that attend them. Parents want the best for their children, but the resources aren't being provided or offered, leaving parents to find alternatives for their children and families. The public school system, along with our U.S. government, should put aside more funding for more quality after-school programs that help with the growth and development of a child. After-school programs are a necessity to many families of children because many parents and guardians work during the day and do not get off until late in the evening. Many times, families need these jobs that require long hours away from their loved ones to provide for their household. The last thing they would like to worry about is their children and who are caring for them after school gets out. These programs allow families to have some peace of mind while they're at work and not have to have the burden to worry about the children and what type of care they are receiving. Without proper supervision for children, they can often get involved in groups that may not be the best interest to them, like gangs. Having the adequate supervision after school is an important factor in a child's development and childhood. Oftentimes, without the after-school program, families have no choice but to have children stay home alone caring for themselves since they may not have any families or friends to help care for the child. During these times alone, the children can possibly become open to many dangers that are open in the community that can happen without the proper at-home supervision. After-school programs not only serve as a safe place for children to be comfortable in when they're away outside of their classrooms and away from their families, but they also build on the skills that they learn inside their classrooms. Children often spend time in their after-school programs with their peers and often work on homework and schoolwork together. Not only do they work on these different assignments together and encourage each other to critically think their way through them, but they also give the opportunity to work on their social skills with one another. These skills can only become a strength that they use throughout their lives with their peers and throughout their social life. These programs may be appealing to children due to the fact that they have a safe place to be with their friends. If these children did not have these after-school programs, they would probably be found at home alone without supervision since their parents may get out of work late in the day. According to the Daily Times, it states that children benefit from learning and socializing during the time between getting out of school and their parents arriving home from work. Parents have peace of mind as they finish the workday. The nation benefits from better functioning families. Being able to have a place to go after school and socialize with their friends and work on schoolwork is a beneficial factor in their development and childhood. These after-school programs not only play as a resource in the community and public school systems, but also open children up to new opportunities when working with different types of adults and interacting with different types of peers that they may not have the chance to interact with in the regular school day. There are many different after-school programs that provide different things to serve children's different needs. Author Elizabeth Wanless states that many studies support after-school physical activity programs that include moderate to vigorous exercise as an effective way to improve children's BMI, body fat percentage, and other aspects of health. Research has indicated that youth engaging in the recommended dose of physical activity are at a lower risk of obesity, cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes, and have increased muscle and bone strength, cognitive and brain functioning, and psychosocial and mental health. Some programs provide homework help, supervision, and childcare, and some also may feed the children throughout the time that they are with them. These different resources that these programs offer do nothing but help the families of the children tremendously since they don't have to worry about where their children are, what type of care they're receiving, but also not worry about their child going hungry. The Daily Time reports that students who get 3 nutritious meals a day and are supervised after school hours are more likely to show up regularly, earn higher grades, and stay out of trouble more often. The programs threatened by the president's proposed budget provide academic enrichment, supervise STEM activities, which include science, technology, engineering, and math, arts and social experiences, homework assistance, and nutrition and socialization opportunities. They help youngsters develop skills they need to grow, learn, and become productive, responsible citizens. These programs serve not only as a resource for homework and assignment help in their schoolwork, but also support and encourage a healthy lifestyle and transition into adulthood. Author Dawn DeVries states that, in reviewing national statistics, 62% of children aged 9 to 13 did not participate in organized physical activity during non-school hours, and 23% did not engage in any free time physical activity. 60% were identified as living below poverty level, and 63% received free or reduced meals at school. These children were at risk for developing obesity as well as diabetes and other chronic conditions due to their socio-economic status. It is very important for these after-school programs to not only be available, but be free or at least affordable for families to put their children in. These different families rely heavily on these after-school programs to be able to run their families efficiently, to be able to provide for their families. They need support from not only the public school system, but also the adequate support and funding from the U.S. government. Children spend a lot of time in these after-school programs waiting for their parents or guardians to get out of work. A lot of these children have families that may work a lot and may not be there for them as role models. Being in these programs allow the children to have the opportunity to be able to be surrounded by great role models that can only become a beneficial factor in their lives growing up, since their parents or guardians may not be around to guide them properly. Author Hannon Adley states that President Donald Trump has called for cutting $1.2 billion in grants for the 21st Century Community Learning Centers, which includes after-school and summer programs in high-poverty areas, as he seeks to reduce Department of Education spending by more than 13%. Cutting funding for after-school programs will only make the children suffer by not having these different resources around to their disposal. The lack of these programs can result in putting children in potentially bad situations after school. These programs do nothing but help the local community they are found in. Parents, guardians, and families have the ability to know that their children are in a safe spot after school and are receiving quality care outside of their own supervision. Disregarding the importance of these after-school programs will only send the message to our children that we do not care about their lives outside of the classroom, and it will only encourage them to deviate further from the education system. Having these programs around strongly support the successful development in their childhood. Being able to open children up to new opportunities and having them gain interest in education will only strengthen their desire to learn later on in their adulthood. A lot of the times, the family dynamic for the children that utilize these after-school programs is very interesting. Some families may have a single-parent household, grandparents raising the children, or at times no parents at all. In some cases, the adults that they interact with in these programs serve as the only guidance they have outside of the classroom or regular school hours. Teachers know how to... The Daily Times says that after-school programs should not be child-sitting services or used as punishment. Teachers know how to fill the blanks so students become motivated. After-school and summer programs have assisted people for decades by providing a path toward their life goals. Young minds should be stimulated by positive influences. Many times, parents or guardians work long hours that require them to be away from their families. Having time to help with homework or assignments may be non-existent to some parents. At times, even if they do have the adequate time to help their children, their education level may be too low to be able to successfully help their children. In conclusion, our public school system and our government must do a better job in providing quality after-school programs for children to spend time in while their parents are at work. Without their programs, children often do not have a place to go after school and must spend time at home without supervision until their parents come home. Not only do our children need more of these programs and resources offered by parents and families, but parents and families need assistance as well. Being able to provide free, quality childcare for them will take a heavy burden off their shoulders while they are working. In addition to helping the families, children also need quality programs that support their growth and development as children in this crucial stage in their lives.